My mom was married like 6, 7 times, and every one of her husbands are dead except my dad.
No way.
Yeah, dude. Straight Jerry Springer, bro.
Whoa, what?
You know, if you want your name to live on when you're gone, what did Jesus do? Made disciples. What would happen if Jesus didn't make the 12 disciples?
The stories would have died with him.
So really, like, I'm gonna tell you, like, I think the greatest skill that any human being can learn is the skill of being present.
If you could go back and talk to your 31-year-old self, what would you say to yourself?
Stop leaving God. Like I leave him. I think God just fuels everything. I think that when you stay close to him, I think everything else works out.
When 100 years from now, when we're dead, what is it that you want people to say about you?
It's crazy as hell.
So where did you live before you came out here?
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma? Is that where you and Jackie met?
Yep. I hated it.
What didn't you like about it?
Just everything I knew growing up, man. Just hated it.
Yeah. What was it like when you were growing up?
You know, just remember Jerry Springer?
Yeah. Ah.
Straight Springer, bro. I remember in the 2nd grade, dude. I left, went to my best friend's house in the back of the neighborhood. Dude, I didn't come home for 6 months.
Really?
I mean, nobody went looking. I mean, it was just Wild West.
Did you have a big family?
No, I had 3 or 4 brothers and sisters, half steps. I mean, just Jerry Springer, bro, like straight up. My mom left when I was 2. She's an alcoholic. She's a loser, bro. So my dad would always, you know, he's married like 6, 7 times.
Damn.
My mom was married like 6, 7 times, and every one of her husbands are dead except my dad.
No way.
Yeah, dude. Straight Jerry Springer, bro.
Whoa, what?
Yeah.
How does hell wait?
I don't even know. I only seen her a couple times in my life. I just from afar.
How did that impact the way that you moved forward from that point in your life and the lifestyle that you live now? Because, I mean, to come from that situation and see what you have with your family now.
I think it's good. I mean, I think, you know, for somebody to really have a great upbringing, so a lot of times they don't value a great family life because it's like you've always had one. Mm-hmm. First time they get in a fight, they split.
Yeah.
You know, because they expect it to be easy. But hell, I know what splitting up looks like and what it does to people and how horrible it is.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no ways, we're fighting till the death. You know, we're
that.
together till we die.
How did you guys meet? Was she in Oklahoma too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so she's from Arizona, and then she flew out to Oklahoma to take a job, and I worked at that job. And then I just was like, you know, who's that Mexican with a fat butt? You know what I mean? And then I just started chasing her down.
Yeah. Now you're getting her name tattooed on you.
Yeah. A lot of girls want to be guys as like queens. You know, that's my queen. But then they don't suffer together. They don't win together. They don't celebrate wins and losses. So really, like, I'm going to tell you, like, I think the greatest skill that any human being can learn is the skill of being present.
Yeah. I love that. I just had a talk with Anna today about the importance of being present, being here and now.
Yeah. The reason why so many people are easy to beat is because no one is really where they are. Having hope in the future is like super important, but being present is like the most important thing in the world. If you're not present, like if you're at work and you're not present, working as hard as you can right now, you're not going to get ahead, even if you are thinking about tomorrow.
So what does the next version of Andy look like?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
First of all, he's ripped and shredded. I just want to get ripped.
That's always the first answer.
Yeah,
That's always
ripped and shredded.
Base level.
And then secondly, I want to get really close to God. It's important. It's really important to me that I have a really good relationship with God. It's extremely important to me. But I just want to be a good, godly man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With a good heart. I want to be super loving. A savage, you know, that doesn't, you know, put up with crap, but also, you know, have patience for people, you know. So it's just a good mixture.
In that mixture, how do you balance that relationship with God and also, you know, take care of everything else that you do?
I think there's 2 things. Number one, if you take care of God's business, He'll take care of yours, right? So I think There is no balance. I think it's just total integration of God in everything. And then also I think God opens doors that humans can't close. I think that if I just stay on his mission, I think that even if somebody wanted to tear down something that he was building, he ain't gonna let it happen. I just gotta believe that.
Trying to create balance and being so out of balance, but I didn't really have the understanding that to try and create this work-life balance that I thought I was so far outside of, like in the future, I wasn't creating real harmony. And when I came to the understanding, I think, a better understanding, I guess, of that work-life harmony and being here and now, and everything that I have, that I could ever want is here and now, everything just started to click.
Yeah.
You know?
It's crazy, isn't it?
When did you see things really start to click for you?
Well, mine was when I was 39.
What's your age now?
45.
What happened when you were 39?
I think Jackie started to tell me some things that she was sick of, and I think I needed to hear it. I actually think I wanted to hear it, and I didn't want to hear it. I think I wanted to change, but I felt like I just was handcuffed to my life. So I just was like in prison, and I couldn't change. It's like people I tell them all the time, they're like, I wish I could change. You're like, yeah, I remember, because I wish I could change. And then I did.
What are some of the small things, I guess? Because I feel like when people are looking to make that change, they think some big cataclysmic evolution is going to happen.
No.
But I know for me at least, the things that change my life the most are the little incremental movements every day. What kind of, what little things did you change about your lifestyle and your days and just your mindset, I guess, that got you?
Well, one of the things was being consistent in the gym every morning immediately started to make me feel more value in myself. And I always say this, if you don't love yourself, you can't love anyone else. And so I started to like me more. I started to be more patient. I started to, my mindset started to become better because I was working on me in the gym every morning, right? And then also another thing that I did was I actually started self-developing. And I think your mind isn't your friend. And so starting to listen to educational stuff and people give you business advice or tell you how to live a better life, or not even just motivation, but just training, which is why we fell in love with training. Just training your mind. I learned that my mind wasn't my friend. It's never been my friend. It's always thought small. It's always self-sabotage me, and so every day, if the first thing I do, within the first hour or two every morning is, spend time working on me, training, it changes my whole day.
That's so cool, and to see what you've built and the culture that you have is so cool. Because I didn't know anything about you when I first met you. The only thing I knew was that Selena was a killer.
Yeah.
She came up to me at Keaton's event, and she was tripped out when she saw me. She's like, "Oh my God, what are you doing here? I love your shit. I've been following you forever." And I told her, why I was there. I was looking to build out my program and meet the right people that could help me elevate, because I don't know what I need to know.
Yeah.
And when she introduced me to you, I was like, oh, he's cool. These guys are all really cool. I met Tommy and Sierra, and I love this group of people. Favorite group
Good
that
energy.
I met the best energy at that whole event. I love Keaton, and so I was there for Keaton and for myself to meet the people that I could connect with, and that I was on the same frequency that would help me level up, and that I could also provide value and connect with them. But when I knew, I was like, this is the type of person that I want to be like, was during the actual speaking. I was super moved by all the speeches. I left very inspired, impacted, and just amped up from all of the talks. But you were the only one to bring your wife, your kids, and your team up there. And you're like, this is my tribe. And I'm a very family oriented person. And I
Yeah.
was like, dude, yes, I love that.
Most people don't want to give credit to anyone. They want to take it.
Yeah.
We give it all to our team, bro. Yeah,
an
we'd be
amazing
nothing.
team. It's cool to see, you know, the camaraderie and the love. You know, that's the core of what I believe in.
Yeah, it's a movement. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's why, and you know, and you're doing the same thing. You're building your movement now. You know.
Yeah.
Remember, for every 10 people you go to build, 3 will betray you. Maybe 5 will betray you, but the 7 you build will be beautiful.
That's my biggest fear with that, because
Don't
I've
fear
been
it.
burned so many times.
Dude,
and
listen,
it's
here's
like,
what I'll tell you. So, like Selena here with me, okay, if I wouldn't have believed that I could create someone like Selena, well, 3 of the people didn't work. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Or they burned me and they left and they're not here and I poured all this time in them, but guess what? Should I be angry and mad that those people betrayed me? Or should I go and, you know, give Selena all this love and say thank you for being, you know, loyal, because now I really, like, I valued loyalty before, but now I value it more than ever. You know, instead of like being afraid that someone's gonna betray you, go show those people love who haven't betrayed you. You've got a lot of people that haven't.
yeah.
Dude, you wouldn't have those people had you not believed. And doing God's work is believing in people. You know, if you want your name to live on when you're gone, what did Jesus do? Made disciples. What would happen if Jesus didn't make the 12 disciples?
His stories would have died with him.
So are your stories gonna die with you, or my story's gonna die with me? You know, it's like, dude, like, we gotta build disciples, bro. And these disciples, they have great lives. And they also, the disciples got to put their name in the Bible too.
When 100 years from now, when we're dead, what is it that you want people to say about you?
He's crazy as hell. God was crazy, dude. But he was super loving, man. He was crazy. You know what I want? I really want them to say, that was one of the greatest transformations. You know, the Apostle Paul was Saul. He was the Christian killer. He killed Christians. And then he took the Bible the furthest. I would really like, to me, because honestly, dude, I'm such a screwed up person and broken person, that I would love to just show people that screwed up and broken people can really do some cool stuff. That would be cool.
I think that's why why I treasure the practice of gratitude the most, because I just at one time took things for granted in the biggest ways, and I didn't appreciate having a life, you know, and
Yeah, I did the same thing.
that's why now I love every breath that I take, because I really am so grateful to even
Yeah.
be here.
Like,
you
dude, I
know?
shouldn't even be here.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell's going
Shouldn't
on?
have made it, you know.
Yeah, dude, this house, Jackie drew this house on a napkin, like we were telling you. Like, she built it, right? But like, you know, Jackie, we lived in Oklahoma, right?
Yeah.
This is the craziest deal, but we lived in Oklahoma. And in mid 2019, Jackie goes, I'm flying to Arizona to buy a piece of land. I've lived in Oklahoma my whole life. And she's like, we're gonna move one day. Not to buy a house, to buy a piece of land.
She just was called here.
She just flew to Phoenix, and then she was driving around for 2 days and ended up in this neighborhood out in Fountain Hills. And this was a pile of dirt. And she's like, this is where we're gonna do it. And then she came home and drew this napkin with this big pool running through this house. And she was like, there's gonna be a lot of windows, a lot of glass. There's gonna be an infinity pool. You know, it's gonna be a single story. And she just started to tell me all about it. And Jackie wrote it, she drew it on a napkin, and then she started to buy furniture for it. She bought all the furniture in this house. She bought everything when the house wasn't even done. It hadn't even gotten started. We didn't even move yet. She put it in a storage, and it's set in storage for 4 years.
Damn.
Dude.
She's crazy like you.
She crazy, bro.
I think one of the best things I've ever done for myself is building my relationship with the way that I feel fear You know, there was a time, like I told you, I was really scared of being betrayed and getting burned, and there was a point where I had a really bad breakup, the worst heartbreak, you know, and I was really scared. And we had already planned to take a trip for Valentine's Day. And I was like, I'm not gonna sit here and wallow in my own sorrow and not, you know, and just sit here and be sad. So I decided to give myself a gift, and I journal every day. I'm a big journaler. And so what I had written down was I wanted to give myself the gift of courage. You know, I was sick of being scared of certain things, and so I wrote down my 3 biggest fears at that point, and they were heights, deadly afraid of heights, fish, like eating fish. I've always wanted to eat sushi. I grew up watching anime, and everyone's always eating sushi, and it's like, it looks so good. I want to eat fish. I just couldn't do it. And then being by myself. I was really codependent, and I always needed to have someone with me. And so I'm an extremist, and so I like to address things head on. And so I booked myself a flight for the first time just to go alone somewhere for the first time. He's chilling. How does it feel?
Feels great.
Yeah.
Yeah, excited. And so you booked your first flight?
So I booked my first flight to go take my first solo trip. And I flew to Miami, and on Valentine's Day, I went skydiving, and because that was my biggest fear, was, you know, heights. And I remember as I get to the airport, to the little like hangar that they go out of, I show up, and it's a bunch of couples because it's Valentine's Day, and the instructor's like, all right, are we waiting for anyone else? I was like, no, it's just me. He goes, okay. He just kind of looked at me like, this loser, you know? And so I get in this rickety plane, and it just like smells like rusty metal and old wood, and we're like, it's just
super unsafe.
So the most unsafe plane. I was like, this is gonna fall apart before we even get high enough to jump. And the whole time we were going up, my whole life is flashing before my eyes. And mind you, I didn't tell anyone I was doing this. I didn't tell anyone I was going on this trip. I was like, this is just for me to get over this shit. And as he opens the door, once we get high enough, the whole cabin of the plane just floods with air, and my stomach just sank. And I was like, shit, I'm gonna die, and no one's gonna know where I'm at. My whole family's gonna not know what happened. And all I could think of was my kids and my family, and like, I had all these things running through my mind. And he scoots me up to the edge of the plane, and he goes, 1, 2, and then jumps, and everything goes silent. And it felt like the first time in my life where there was just peace, bliss.
Wow.
Nothing. I couldn't think of my kids. I couldn't think of the guy strapped to my back. I couldn't think of what I was doing before that. I couldn't think of what I was going to do after that. All that existed in that moment, I was just falling from the sky. It was just that moment that existed. And it was just meditative. And he pulls the chute, and I'm just like, I started crying. I was like so happy. And my feet touched the ground, and I wanted to go again. I was like, I can't believe I was so scared of that. And right after that, I Ubered to a seaside restaurant, and I'd never had fish.
Right away.
You know, instantly. I went right there, and I spent the last couple $100 I had. And I was like, I want one of everything. And like, same thing, I show up to the restaurant, and he's like, we waiting for anyone else? Because it's Valentine's Day. And I'm like, no, it's just me. And he gave me the same look. He's like, this fucking loser, you know? And so I get like crab and calamari and sushi and fish. Bro, I loved it. I eat sushi all the time. We had sushi earlier. It's my favorite shit. I love fish.
That's crazy.
And it showed me, that trip specifically showed me that these things that I was so scared of
were all fake in your head.
Didn't exist. I actually loved it. I love traveling by myself now. I love my me time. You know, when I'm at the gym and it's just me, I love just being within my own psyche. I love seafood. I love skydiving. I've been skydiving like 30 times now.
Wow.
And
that's crazy.
Dude, I started running towards the things that I was scared of rather than running away from them. And one of the biggest things that I've found within the last couple of years that give me that sense of fear is trusting people to get close to me when it comes to a work sense, because I've had so many people take advantage of me and just want to get close to me for what I can do, for who I am or whatever.
Everything you've built your whole life. Yeah.
And I think that honestly, letting people in like that is scarier than jumping out of a plane, scarier than, traveling around the world myself.
You got to be cautious. And you got to, especially your inner circle. But don't be so cautious it paralyzes you.
You know? How do you push forward when you feel that, that need to take caution?
In the Bible it says over 400 times, it says do not fear. So I just know that. Have you ever read the book Napoleon Hill, Outwitting the Devil? You read it?
Yeah, that's the first book that I have everyone around me read. That's my favorite book.
Dude, he says 98% of the people are just owned by the devil. Like he owns their mind. Mm-hmm. He says that's why people can't become successful. And they told him, I think the book was he wrote it in 1930, but it wasn't published until 2007.
2011.
2011, yeah. And he died in the 80s and his wife died in the 90s. And, he wrote in the book, if the devil said if he ever published it, that he was going to cause big harm to his family, Mm-hmm. And the devil don't want people to know that they're owned by him. Mm-hmm. And so I think that the fear part is just the devil makes up stories in your head about what's going to happen, and none of that's true.
Yeah. If you could go back and talk to your 31-year-old self, what would you say to yourself?
I would probably, there's lots of different answers. Depends on which part of me is talking. But I think the most valuable one would be, you just said it, there's nothing worse than a drifter, right? I would say, dude, stop leaving God. I leave him, and he doesn't leave me. I just keep leaving him. I'm on fire for God right now, but I want to stay there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just stay on fire for what you're passionate about. Don't let it burn out. You know what I mean? And so I think God just fuels everything. I think that when you stay close to him, I think everything else works out.
Bro.
Is it done?
We're done.
Dude, that is so cool, dude. That is awesome.
Oh.
Let me see. That is amazing.
Check it out, bro.
Dude, that is so cool. It's just so simple. So easy. Yeah, it looks good, right? Yeah, looks good. It's amazing. I love it. I just need to get these veins coming out a little more.
Yeah, dude, they're popping, bro.
It underlines it.
It does.
Now I just need to get shredded and let it underline it. Get them about 2 inches bigger.